I can't believe we've made it to a third episode already. At this rate, this whole thing is gonna fly by. And at this point, I'm probably gonna be hosting the show within a nursing home in the next 40 years. Welcome. I have no fucking idea. Who just drove by the studio?
Anyway, continue.
Anyway, welcome back to another installment of your go-to home for all things heavy metal. Sorry, I'm still recovering from a cough. That's why I sound a little stuffy. Into the pits!
Wow, do you have to be so loud?
Well, yeah. Compared to last week's absolutely maniacal playlist, this one has a little more variety. The track we're kicking things off might actually put you to sleep. This is the progressive sludge masterminds themselves, the Ocean Collective. The Grand Inquisitor 2, Roots and Low Costs of the 2010 album, the Anthropocentric. My name's Wally Punk, you're listening to Into the Pit.
would like to appreciate how homeless O'Reilly looks.
I'm
look
just
at
in my
just-
zone, you know.
Just look at him. He looks so stoned.
It's the music that's making me stoned. If you somehow survived the first two tracks without slipping into a coma, like I almost said just then, congratulations! You're either superhuman or possess an attention span scientifically proven to be extinct in the TikTok era.
I'm both.
Same, not gonna lie. That was post-metal legends Russian Circles. Milano of the 2019 album Blood Year. Mike Sullivan's tunings are basically a secret weapon nobody talks about. On tracks from Guidance and M+, he'll subtly detune certain strings just a fraction of a step. Enough that the riffs wobble and shimmer in ways you can almost feel in your chest. It's not dramatic like dropping a whole step. It's the kind of tiny, almost imperceptible adjustment that makes chords sound like they're bending themselves, creating that tense, slightly haunted atmosphere that feels bigger than three guys on stage. Russian Circles are also masters of recycling riffs in ways that almost feel like a secret language. A chord shape from Enter might reappear in Blood Year, shifted a half step, slowed down, or layered under a counter melody, so it feels familiar but uncanny. Sometimes it's a fleeting guitar band, a subtle interval in the bass, or a rhythmic accent that echoes an earlier track, small enough that casual listeners miss it. But once you hear it, your brain can't unhear the eerie thread connecting the albums. Before that, the Ocean Collective with the Grand Inquisitor 2, Roots and Locusts of the 2010 album Anthropocentric. You're listening to Into the Pit with Riley Punk and his noble slave Billy, and it's time for our Album of the Week breakdown. And this week, it's none other than Call of the Wretched Seized by Ahab. Ahab formed in Heidelberg,
You're an
Baden-Württemberg.
Ahab.
Your mum's an Ahab, Billy. Anyway, Baden-Württemberg, Germany. Quickly becoming known for their immersive, oceanic funeral doom sound, drawing inspiration from maritime literature. They combine slow, crushing riffs with mournful atmospheres and epic storytelling, carving out a unique niche in modern doom metal. On Call of the Wretched Sea in particular, the riffs are colossal, swampy, and downright ghostly, evoking a feeling of drowning in a vast, poisonous ocean, teeming with unknown bacteria.
You're a bacteria.
You're a bacteria. You are the human equivalent of the new variant of COVID. Shut up. Where the water somehow seeps into your very bones. They are especially eerie on tracks like the Pacific, where this haunting, foreboding, discordant counter riff weaves over the main guitar line, persisting relentlessly throughout the entire song. And Old Thunder, where you can hear a case of psychedelic, surreal, and abstract counter riffs that carry a vibe strikingly reminiscent of the Swedish band Morbus Crown. And the vocals are deep, like absurdly deep, like deeper than the lowest burp you can imagine. Sometimes they even get swallowed by the music itself. rumbling from beneath like some demonic god lurking in the depths, casually deciding whether it wants to smite the world or let it rot a little longer. The album also has this sludgy, mirror-like guitar tone that drags and oozes through every riff, thick with grit and grime, as if the songs themselves were soaked in tar and left to fester in the shadows. Time to pump the energy up for a little bit of some Whitechapel, a visual wedge of the album from last year, Hymns and Dissonance. My name's Riley Funk, you're listening to a pet. That's on the shoulder from my parents' relationship. Dad, I miss you. Please come back. I knew those last two songs would jolt you awake, but if they didn't, you're either blissfully stoned off your ass or treating this episode like background noise. Either way, we love you for it. Just keep supporting us, please. Seriously, I'm this close to crawling on my knees to the producer who's actually on her honeymoon, and if she's watching this, then congratulations. And begging to make this a full-time job. That was Walden Sound out of Finland. Brave new world of a new EP, Mass Extinction. For Apocalypse, Walden Sound went full-on obsessive with pre-production. Running every riff, blast beat, and vocal take through endless rehearsals and demo sessions. They tweak drum fills by milliseconds, adjust guitar tones until they rattle just right, and re-record vocal snarls until they hit with maximum venom. So every track hits like a surgical strike, precise, but still utterly chaotic underneath. And for that same album and Mass Extinction, the band went meticulous with recording, tracking drums and vocals in one studio, guitars and bass in another, then handing everything off to a separate engineer for mixing. The result is this dense, layered chaos where every blast beat rattles perfectly, and every guitar buzzes just right, and the vocals sit somewhere between a growl and a hurricane, all while still feeling like a single, unstoppable organism. Before that, Whitechapel with a physical retch of the album from last year, Hymns in Dissonance. You're listening to Into the Pit with Riley Prong, and it's time for our debate segment of the program. And this one will probably cause a few fights in the comments.
Who is more good looking? Me or Riley?
If you choose Billy, then you're not a real fan of the channel or the podcast, and I'm just sounding you as fans. So subscribe if you think it's me, comment if you think it's Billy. This is just a case of Billy being delusional and thinking he's actually hot. But whenever he looks into an actual mirror, bam, fucking breaks, like bam.
At least.
At least what?
At least I don't like sit the sloth.
At least I brush my teeth properly every day, huh? Be fat.
What do you mean brush your teeth?
I've seen how yellow your teeth are. You have like shell of them. But you eat like literal fecal matter or something. You're eating your dog shit, isn't it?
At least I don't have my teeth out every day.
Well, at least I don't have my pants off every second hour when I'm at home.
Huh?
Anyway, moving on. God damn, I lost this. See, this is why you should have put paper. I can barely fucking read this shit on phone. Iron Maiden versus Judas Priest. Who owns the new wave of British heavy metal crown? And does Rob Halford's coming out add depth to Priest's legacy, or nothing at all? As always, post your answer in the comments, but don't just drop a yes or no. Make sure you actually explain your reasoning. Been a hot minute since we've had any 80s metal, let alone any power metal on the program. So I'm gonna take you back to 1987 and play some Halloween. See, I wasn't that loud last time. Future Road off the debut album Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1.
Alright, let's do it.
Come and take a trip with me to future world. And if you're running through your life and you don't know what the sense is, come and look how it could be in future. We are living happiness, our life is full of joy. We say the word tomorrow without fear. The feeling of togetherness is always at our side. We love our life and we know we will stay. 'Cause we all live in future world, a world that's full of love. Our future life will be glorious. Come with me, future world. You say you would like to stay, but this is not your time. Go back, find your own way to future world. Life can be for living, just try and never give in. Tell everyone the way to future world. One day you'll live in happiness with a heart that's full of joy. You say the word tomorrow without fear. The feeling of togetherness will be at your side. You say you love your life and you know why. 'Cause we all live in future world, a world that's full of love.
the Chopped.
Back to Billy, he thinks he's so handsome, but fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Hold on. Crap, I keep losing the script. Keep getting sucked into the world of my phone and completely forgot I consistently have to be on the script. Where was it? Where was it? It's like finding Billy's penis all over again. Where is it? I'm dedicating that track to all the stoners out there, whether you're watching right now or just tuning in. I also dedicate that one to all the 30-year-olds living with parents who are unemployed. Get a job. Seriously, what are you doing with your life? That was Weed Eater. Godlock and Good Speed off the 2007 album of the same name.
You're a weed eater.
Damn straight I am. Who isn't a weed eater? Well, Billy's a cum eater, but that's a little different. On some of her tours, Weed Eater shows turn into complete chaos. There are stories of the drummer vomiting all over his kit mid-set and just kept playing, while fans threw joints, homemade bombs, and random raids of paraphernalia onto the stage. Sometimes inhalers right into the mic. It was messy, reckless, and somehow completely unbrand for the band. The band's name also came from a real-life moment. Dave's dog got into some weed in the backyard and got completely blasted, and he jokingly calls the dog a little weed eater. Like, who just casually leaves a bag of weed out in the backyard in the first place?
My creepy uncle that my family doesn't see anymore.
Was he like Quagmire levels of creepy?
No, he was a ghost.
Oh, so kind of like your dad, okay.
Ow!
Going good. The name stuck, perfectly capturing the band's chaotic, stoner-fueled energy and sense of humor. And from there on, it just became part of her identity. And during the Jason the Dragon era, Dixie Dave accidentally shot off part of his toe in a freak accident. The incident turned the following tour into the infamous Nine Toe Tour, with shows God. See, this is why I threw it when printed out. Let me just zoom in. Fuck, I lost where I was at. With shows carried out through pain, chaos, and plenty of stoner-fueled antics. You're listening to Into the Pit with Riley Punk, and it's time for our Metal Mythbusters segment. And this one's a new...
Who you gonna call?
Your mum.
Mythbusters.
Who you gonna call? Your parents.
Mythbusters. Let's just go to continue with Mythbusters. Ignore that cringe. Ignore that garbage joke we made.
It's a pretty good joke, not gonna lie. And this one's a lot newer, but still so bizarre I couldn't just ignore it. Apparently, fuck, this is gonna get us age restricted, but fuck it. Black metal duo Worm allegedly spent a night in a BDSM chamber on tour for a photo shoot. Here's what we do now. The story actually comes from a legitimate feature article, not some random rumor circulating online. In the piece, the band describes staying in an extreme theatrical space that fit their dark aesthetic, and the anecdote was used to illustrate how far they go to create unsettling, immersive visuals for the music. But there's no verified tour diary, interview, or band statement indicating that the dungeon stay was a recurring ritual or held any occult significance. It seems to be a one-off anecdote included purely for shock value in that feature, and nothing beyond that anecdote. Photos, official members of performances in such a venue, deeper scene context, etc., has surfaced. So it's not a widely confirmed band practice or legendary black metal ride. There would have been here's when it gets tricky part of the segment, but judging by the fact that it was confirmed in an interview, that automatically makes it true. I knew we'd bust a myth someday. Almost as satisfying as busting a nut for the first time.
Well, there goes our channel.
Yep. There goes our monetization. Pat myself on the back here. There goes the chance of us getting any fucking money from this shit. You can thank me later.
Why would we thank you?
I don't know. As previously stated on multiple occasions, Billy, I'm a dumbass and graduated from the Harvard University of Dumbasses.
Same here.
Dumbass buddies for life. Shake on it. Shake on it. I don't see you shake on it, Billy. Shake on it.
Okay,
Give me a fucking handshake through the camera,
we're in
bitch.
different rooms.
Still.
Okay, I'm waving my hand. What do
No,
you
no, no,
want?
on
What-
time, on time.
Okay,
3, 2, 1. Dumbasses for life.
dumbasses for life.
But one slightly smaller than the other.
That's me.
That's me.
No, it's me.
No, it's me. Oh, fuck. You're doing film university. God fucking damn it. You are the smaller one.
Ha ha. So
God, I'm the biggest I feel like the biggest idiot in the room right now.
Oh wow, wow.
Yeah, you can rub it in later. You can rub it in later.
Just play another song. Just play another song.
We have to tease each other because that's what the people want. And it actually attracts viewers. Yeah, I'm talking directly to you guys.
Hello.
Hello. And I don't mean any offense by it. I don't mean it. Fuck, I'm stuttering. I shouldn't have slept in this morning. See, it says it feels like I'm gonna say something, but like nothing comes out of my mouth. But anyway, and it's our first true myth yet. I need a celebratory drink just for that. Leaving you tonight with some old school DSI. We are the Children of the Underworld of the 1995 album Once Upon the Cross. Thanks for tuning in, appreciate your support, and I'll catch you next week. Peace out.
devil dead.